Welcome, Halloween lovers. Are you ready to journey back in time? We will uncover the true story of our favorite spooky holiday. Forget what you think you know. We are going on an adventure to discover how Halloween really began. It is a story much older and more fascinating than you might imagine. In this special report, learn the ancient secrets behind the masks, the bonfires, and the trick-or-treating. Our story begins a very long time ago. About 2,000 years in the past. It starts in the lands we now call Ireland, Scotland, and northern France. The people who lived there were known as the Celts. They were farmers and herders. Their lives followed the rhythm of the seasons. They had a very important festival that marked the end of the harvest season. This festival was called Samhain, pronounced S-A-H-Win. It happened around the end of October. Samhain was a time of great change. It was the end of summer and the beginning of the long, dark winter. For the Celtic people, Samhain was more than just the end of the harvest. They believed it was a magical time. They thought the boundary between the world of the living and the world of the spirits became very thin. The world of the Celts did not stay the same forever. Starting around the year 43, the Roman Empire began to conquer Celtic lands. As the Romans spread across Europe, they brought their customs and festivals. Over 400 years, Roman traditions started to mix with Samhain. Illustration: Roman family leaving offerings at a tomb juxtaposed with Celtic family carving a turnip. This blending added new layers to the autumn celebration. The Romans had two festivals around the same time as Samhain: Feralia, a late October day for remembering the dead; quiet, solemn remembrance at tombs and offerings; Pomona, festival for the goddess of fruit and trees. Her symbol was the apple. That may explain why apples became linked to Halloween. Traditions like bobbing for apples grew from that. Roman practices merged with Samhain, focusing on afterlife and harvest. Then came an even bigger change. Christianity spread, and the church absorbed older pagan traditions. Church leaders linked Christian holidays to existing festivals to convert people. In the 9th century, Pope Gregory III moved it to November 1st. As the centuries passed, the blended traditions of Halloween continued to evolve. In medieval Europe, new practices emerged that look very familiar to us now. One of these was called souling. This custom was popular during the All-Hallowtide season. Poor people, and often children, would go from house to house on All Souls' Day. They would offer to say prayers for the souls of a family's dead relatives. In exchange for these prayers, the household would give them small, round pastries called soul cakes. Each cake eaten was said to represent a soul being freed from purgatory. Another tradition, especially popular in Ireland and Scotland, was called guising. During Halloween, young people would dress up in costumes. They were not just disguising themselves from spirits anymore. They would go door to door in their neighborhoods. At each house, they would perform a trick for a treat. This trick could be anything from singing a song or reciting a poem to telling a joke. In return for their little performance, they would receive a treat like food, fruit, or coins. Guising was a fun, community-based activity that combined costumes with the act of going door to door for rewards. These two traditions, souling and guising, are the direct ancestors of modern trick-or-treating. Let's talk about one of Halloween's most iconic symbols, the jack-o'-lantern. The original jack-o'-lanterns were not made from pumpkins. In Ireland and Scotland, people carved spooky faces into turnips, potatoes, large beets. They would place a hot piece of coal or an ember inside to make them glow. These were carried as lanterns or placed in windows. People believed the frightening faces would scare away wandering evil spirits, including the legendary spirit of Stingy Jack, a man doomed to wander the earth with only a burning coal inside a turnip to light his way. When Irish immigrants brought this tradition to America, they found a new vegetable that was perfect for carving. Pumpkins, native to North America, were larger, much softer than turnips. This made them far easier to carve into elaborate and scary faces. The pumpkin jack-o'-lantern quickly became a staple of American Halloween. It was a perfect example of how an old tradition adapted to a new environment. So the next time you carve a pumpkin, remember its humble origins as a root vegetable designed to keep spirits at bay.